don't want Billy Napier to be successful in Gainesville. I don't want to see him turn this around. I'm gonna be real, I can't stand watching Billy Napier's brand of football. It disgusts me. It is disgusting. Awful coach. Awful. He's awful. Everybody's talking about Billy Napier, and I didn't know if it made any sense for me to just pop off and just do the same thing that I did the year before, talking about how Billy Napier is this, that, or the third. And there's gonna be some of that in this, because he is not a good coach. Billy Napier, if you look in the dictionary and there was a picture by the word the Peter Principle, Billy Napier would be dead center. I think every football team, I believe every football team takes on the personality of their coach. And when that's not the case, the coach is on the field. Sometimes you have it happen both ways, but sometimes you'll have that coach who doesn't really do all the growling. The coach is on the field. The coach is Mahomes, the coach is Kelsey, and the coach is Chris Jones on the defensive side. Those guys are the coach. They're the voice on the field. The coach doesn't get to get out there and talk to his guys like he can in practice, but you got the coaches on the field that can do that, and you need those guys. Who are those guys for the Gators? This has been the problem. You can say whatever you want to about Lagway preseason this, and oh man, he's gonna be a top 10 SEC quarterback and a future first rounder. Only reason why people are saying that is because people are so thirsty for storylines. It's clear as day. I mean, that's the only reason why people was out here talking about Arch Manning is a first round pick. This is his first season, and y'all saying he a first round pick off the fact that his family and them have been in the NFL and have been successful. That is insane. That is crazy. Anyways, I know Billy Napier is a good recruiter, and you know what? I can't even say that I know that. I don't know if it's about the recruiting or the money. Florida has to be able to have money. They must have money, and that must be part of the reason why they're getting some of these guys, and they're probably getting some of these guys who just love the brand. Like a guy like Trey Wilson, I'm shocked he hasn't jumped in the portal. I'm shocked. If I'm Trey Wilson, I don't want to stay at Florida. I'd go to Michigan. If I'm Trey Wilson, I would have wanted to go to Oklahoma. Play with John Napier. I would have been looking up John Natier's footage, but maybe the hard part is you're also hearing all this stuff about DJ Lagway, and you're probably like, man, I'm at a place where we're gonna mess around and win a championship. Florida's biggest issue is that they don't have a leader on the field. I don't care what they want to say about Lagway. When he first got to Florida, I watched his spring game. He seemed like he was going to be a leader. He really fired him without spending more millions on firing him. So at the end of the day, if you are gonna fire Billy Napier, he probably knows he's playing with house money, and he's probably like, I dare you to fire me, because you know you're gonna have to pay me like $30 million or something like that. So please fire me, because that's the money you really want to be paying the next coach. But I'm gonna make this video to say, have no fear. All Gator fans, have no fear. Don't trip. Don't even trip, all right? Look, the Gators have played 4 games this season. They're 1-3. Sometimes you gotta go through some shit to figure out some shit. I hope that DJ Lagway getting beat up on against LSU and Miami, I hope that really did a number on him mentally so it can sharpen him. Iron sharpens iron. LSU, that's some good ass iron. They sharpened the hell out that boy. He needed to throw them interceptions. Every quarterback is a work in progress. Everyone. I bet you Tom Brady last year in Tampa Bay, he was throwing interceptions too. There's nothing you can do about the fact that you're gonna throw interceptions. The amazing thing, really, when you really look at that game against LSU, is the fact that the Gators even still had a chance to win the game. So this team has such good players, such talented players. The problem is coaching. The problem is getting these players together to play for each other, the way Ohio State had to when they lost to Michigan last year. Getting these guys to fall in love with each other. They're going to be fighting for each other. You got to get them not to just be mercenaries out there playing ball. Florida looks like a team that's got like 60% dudes who are like passionate about Florida football, and then 40% mercenaries, and that's all it takes. It's all it takes to really just have somebody plunge holes in the boat, and now the boat is sinking. And the boat been sinking from the start of the season. 1-3, my boy, 1-3. The only win we got is against LIU. USF got ranked because of us. That is wild. I made a video about this last year talking about how the Gators can't be losing these games because they're not just losing games, they're losing recruits. They seem to be all right, really, when it boils down to it, because you keep hearing about them with this new 5-star, this new 4-star, and whatnot. But one, these guys can always leave. Two, what is a 5-star if he's not coming to a place where he can compete? I genuinely believe DJ Lagway got worse. He got worse from first year to last year. And I think that's because his first year, he probably didn't really expect to really be playing because of Graham Mertz. But it also probably just feels like, you know, it's easier to be the backup guy. Graham Mertz was barely doing all that well either. So the floor was kind of low, you know, the floor was kind of low. Like, DJ didn't have to do much for us to be impressed. And let's be real, if you look at his stats, I don't got his stats in front of me, but look at his stats. Last season, he didn't really do nothing that special. The offense wasn't really clicking like that. Like, when offense starts clicking, like how Ben Johnson had it clicking in Detroit, I mean, those guys look like they really love each other. Those guys look like they really like each other. And I think that all has something to do with it. So here are a couple ideas. Here's the main thing. Let's keep the main thing the main thing. It's okay. I hate this. I was very hopeful this season. I met this guy on the plane like 2 weeks ago. This was before the Gators played USF, and he was a Hurricane fan. And I was sitting there talking to him and going back and forth with him on the plane about, you know, him being a Hurricane fan and me being a Gators. And I was talking to him about how last year was last year, and this year's going to be so much more different. And you know, it's going to be a great game, Florida against Miami, and so on and so forth. He laughed at me. I don't blame him. I'll say this much. Florida has shown me some good signs at the start of the season. The fact that they battled Miami is what was important to me. I didn't expect them to beat Miami. People talking about Florida's O-line. Miami's O-line is bigger, better, hungrier. They're built to win. You ever watch Mario Cristobal in an interview? He is intense. He's intense. That's how his guys come out there to play. They come out there to play like, we want to wreck something, and we want to be the number 1 picks in the draft, and we want to win a championship, and we want to ... Florida comes out like, let's see how we do. Let's see how talented we are against y'all. Let's find out. With their conservative ass offense, their conservative ass play calls. Billy Napier want to be the head coach, top recruiter, top play caller. Bruh, was Spurrier even doing all this? Let me get back on track because I got some important things to say. Very important things to say. I'm mad I'm even taking this long. Some of you already clicked off the video. That's all right. Listen, here's the most important thing. It's okay. Breathe. The Gators play 4 games. I pulled up their schedule here on my phone, so I'm going to read this. They beat LIU 55-0. That game don't even count. They're on a 3-game losing streak. They beat they lost to South Florida 18-16. They lost to LSU 20-10. And then they lost to Miami 26-7. Off the rip, we see the Gators do not be putting up no points. In total, that's about 17 plus 16. That's 38 points, I think, off the top of my head. 37 points, something like that. So off the rip, the Gators done scored about 5 touchdowns in 3 games. Now, here's what's crazy. I think it's taken this team time to figure out who they are and who they're going to be, because I don't think they practice like a real intense team. I think they're running. This happened last season. Coaches have things, identifiers, you know. And again, every team takes the personality of their coach. And this happened last year. Started off very slow, started off bad, lost to Miami, lost to Texas A&M. I think there was a win in there, a playful team we decided to play around with. I forget the name of the team. And Lagway played in that game, was looking real good, throwing it deep to Mizell and so on and so forth. And the Gators started to figure it out towards the middle of the season once it was official that DJ Lagway was going to be the guy who finished out the season. But we're going to find out how serious he is about the game of football. We're going to find out how serious he is about his future. If he is what I saw in him when he first got to Gainesville, he's going to figure this out, and this was important for him to experience. He needed to experience this. You can't just be a successful quarterback, a professional quarterback, and not deal with this kind of scenario. You got to deal with it. You got to deal with thinking you saw what you thought you saw and then having to go watch that on tape to rectify that with yourself and with your coaches and with your teammates, and to talk about why you thought you saw what you saw and to be held accountable for it and to hold yourself accountable for it. He needs that. So, you can talk trash about him because, the game is the game, but if you're going to be a fan, you got to play the long game too. And playing the long game means, that boy got 4 years. Well, it's college, so they done changed the rules. Now he could probably be up in college for 7 seasons if you want to. But let's give DJ Lagway some time. And I think the Gators' biggest weakness really is they don't have a leader on the defensive side. When you watch Miami, all people keep talking about is Ruben Bain. It's like, we all know, we get it. We heard the name. The PR for him is strong. Who is that on the Gators? On the Gators, you're just hearing about a bunch of guys, who are just mercenaries, who are just there on some I'm ready to turn up this season and go to the draft. Those are the guys at Florida. These guys aren't in love with it. These guys are trying to get to the league. These guys are playing the game. All right. But here's what I was going to say, man. Even though the Gators are 1-3, they can still be the SEC champions this season. And they can absolutely at least get to the SEC championship game. And then they can get into the college football playoff. None of that is far-fetched. And they would, again, be the team who has the biggest turnaround. Now, with all that said, I'm going to just be real. I low-key don't even want them to do that because they almost don't deserve that. They don't deserve that. And I don't want Billy Napier to be successful in Gainesville. I don't want to see him turn this around. I'm going to be real. I can't stand watching Billy Napier's brand of football. It disgusts me. It is disgusting. It is so awful to watch. It is so clunky. The guys are so clunky. They just committing penalties like people who are sharding on themselves. It's like these guys go out there and they're drunk or high or something. They not locked in. And I know it's because they coach not locked in. I think their coach is just expecting guys to just go out there and let their talent take over. And he's just going to call plays like this is Madden. Awful coach. Awful. He's awful. The Gators got this week off and they need it. But then they got Texas next. You can't tell me the Gators can't beat that team. Here's where Arch struggled with Ohio State the most. Arch struggled with Ohio State the most when it came to Ohio State's D-line and when it came to their DBs. The strength of the Florida Gators is their D-line and their DBs. That is their strength at its core. That D-line give Arch problems. It's over for Arch. You already see how he starts to play. Arch played against Ohio State, but he ain't played against a whole team full of Florida boys talking that shit and looking crazy and low-key spitting on people. People who, these guys clearly lack some discipline, okay? Getting penalties all over the place, spitting on people, throwing shoes. Let's be real, the Gators clearly be bringing convicts in. I mean, they just made a TV show about Aaron Hernandez. You see our brand. You see who the Gators really be out here. All right, let's just keep it a buck, all right? I think they're going to scare the shit out of Arch Manning, the Gators are going to beat Texas, and everybody going to start talking. They're going to start talking, just like they do. Their next game will probably be one of their hardest games. They're going to play Texas A&M. But again, the Gators have DBs. Where they might struggle in this game is playing against a running quarterback, a real running quarterback like Marcel Reed. I mean, Arch Manning is a real running quarterback. I'm not going to disrespect him. Or Marcel Reed is just more the type to break you down and make you look silly and embarrass the hell out you like he did to the Gators last year. So that's what, if they lose that game, then this video is not aging well. But that's my hopefulness, and I believe it's possible. I believe it's possible for them to get their shit together and to maybe make everybody play them in that ugly kind of way where the defense keeps getting stops and the offense is starting to figure it out. I believe there's no way they can just finish this season off completely worse than they were last year. I think they are set up right now for a really big picture finish. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, Georgia. They can beat Georgia. That team was not all that. All right, they might have to beat Georgia their way. I don't know that the Gators can play like Tennessee played and just be throwing it everywhere. They should be able to because they have the guys. The Gators just don't seem to know how to use the guys. I think they seem to be expecting more out of themselves. And I don't know why they seem to think that they can expect that, seeing on how y'all ain't did nothing in the past decade. Anyways, finishing off. Kentucky, Ole Miss, Tennessee, and then they got Florida State. They got basically, 7 SEC games in a row. They mess around and win out. The SEC gonna cannibalize itself. There's no team that's getting out undefeated, I don't believe. All these teams got to play each other. All of them gonna come up short on some nights and just not have the best energy on that night, or just not be able to, overcome the lack of margin of error that they had, or the fact that the ref called what they call and they won't be able to overcome it. They're going to all lose at least once, for sure. And the Gators can be right back in the big picture, right back in the swing of things. Now, if this doesn't happen, I'm not tripping. And this is why I'm saying, relax. Because I'm going to tell you right now, every team takes on the personality of their coach. And if the Gators do it all over again and go 6-5, 6-4, or let's say they don't make the playoff, let alone the SEC championship game, let alone a bowl game. Let's say they lose to Texas A&M, beat Mississippi State, lose to Georgia, beat Kentucky. Let's say they beat Ole Miss. Let's say they lose to Tennessee. And let's say they lose to Florida State. That's 3 wins. That's 3 wins. That'll be a 3-8 season or something like that. Or let's say they have a 4-win season. Billy Napier fired. And there will be nothing better than firing him except for bringing in the right guy, because they've done this before. They done fired somebody before and had a guy, and that guy was just a guy. He wasn't a leader of men. He wasn't the kind of guy who can lead these men on the field and deal with these men on the field. This shit done drove Urban Meyer crazy. Couldn't deal with it. Emotional. I get that. Probably made him, somebody whose YouTube I don't like watching, but I watch sometimes, is Coach JB, the guy who was on Netflix. This guy was an animal out there. The way he was talking to some of his players, it was unacceptable. But I get it. I've been a player. I've been a coach. I get it. This shit not easy. Communicating with these people aren't easy. Especially, I can only imagine. You got some of these guys who are over there and they're mercenaries, and they just making like $500,000 or something like that. They're probably not even listening to you. They're probably not even thinking about the NFL. They might not even think that they can get to the NFL. And some of these coaches can't coach their guys to the NFL because they don't know how to talk to these guys past the NIL, past the privilege, past the ego. So they just have those guys just there, and they're just guys, and they're just there. But I'm going to wrap on this. This is why I'm going to say that it's okay. If the Gators don't go to the SEC championship game, don't get a bowl game, because the bowl game ain't going to do it. You got to go to the SEC championship game. We're going to start there. Let's start there. If they don't go to the SEC championship game, if they don't compete for that, they're going to fire Billy Napier. And if they fire him, they're going to bring in the best possible coach. And what would be better than firing Billy Napier? The only thing that would be better than firing Billy Napier is bringing in John Gruden. John Gruden wants to coach in the SEC. John Gruden has the kind of character, personality, charisma that you want around young men. He's going to get them really going. And he's not going to allow them to bullshit him. And he lives in that area, so he ain't no stranger to that energy in the area. But beyond that, he's already said that he wants to coach in the SEC. I just watched on his YouTube, I just subscribed to his page the other day. He made a video of him going to Georgia just to take a tour of their facilities and to watch them practice, and it just juiced him up. And he told them in the little session he was having, talking to them, that it would be a dream for him to beat them. Why would you even say that if you're not going to be competing against them? Now, people are floating his name out for jobs like, I think, the Arkansas job or the Mississippi State job. Stop it, y'all. Y'all are so lame. Y'all tripping. This is John Gruden, man. Why would he come down there and coach them, especially after going to see Georgia's facilities, especially after having been in the NFL? You think he can go from NFL to Vanderbilt's facilities? I'm not trying to talk bad about Vanderbilt. I highly doubt Vanderbilt's facilities have anywhere near the kind of investment that UF's facilities have. So to me, there's only 2 schools I can see John Gruden going to, 2 to 3, and I think it's more so 2. And one is Kalen DeBoer, Alabama, and the second spot is Billy Napier, UF. I mean, I don't see no other team. Tennessee coach Josh Heupel ain't on the hot seat. Lane Kiffin ain't on the hot seat. And people, let's stop talking about Lane Kiffin. He really ain't even won nothing yet. All right, Lane Kiffin has not. It's cute, but we can get our own coach that can build something brand new. We don't. Let's not even go there. The Kentucky job not on the hot seat. Georgia not on the hot seat. I'm not about to talk about Mississippi State. Texas A&M not on the hot seat. Texas and not on the hot seat. LSU, that's the only other one I would say, but they're not on. I don't think Brian Kelly's on the hot seat. He could be easily, actually. He could very well be on the hot seat. But John Gruden lived right around the corner. This man wants to coach at the University of Florida, and I think we should let him. Listen, if you got to this part of the video, man, I appreciate it. It took me a while to even get this thing going because it's hard to talk about the Gators, man. These guys just be looking crazy, man. They be looking crazy out there, man. It's hard. It's like, bro, 7 points? Y'all scored 7 points in 4 quarters? How much money y'all making? How are y'all making all this money scoring 7 points? That's probably one of the first things I would say to them. I might start doing a segment where I coach them up. I probably put in their contracts. You don't score, you don't have a certain level of production, you owe me. But I'm picking things back up. So you guys are gonna see a lot more of me, man. So with that being said, would really appreciate it if y'all decided to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can be tapped in. Oh, and then if you do subscribe and you press the bell or whatever so you get notified, that's even better. You dig? Because that way I know that when I drop the video, you are part of the community. And the children of the community are the children of the community.
We all believe that when we talk about the children of the community, they are the children of the community.
All right, y'all. Stay in there, man. Stay in there, y'all. Don't lose hope, man. If I can get up here and make this video talking about, somebody hit me up and said, you know, they want me to abolish the Gators. I get it. I get it. Let's have hope. We'll hope for 1 or 2 things. We got SEC championship coming, and if it do come, just know they're going to love Billy Napier even more. They're going to love him even more, and I don't want that. But I'll take the SEC championship over a year of failure. But I will say that if there's a year of failure, I know what's to come. I know what's to come. You dig? But all right, y'all. Appreciate you. Peace.